The design sketches scattered across my desk blur together as I stare at the magazine's spread, my fingers trembling against the glossy page. There it is, my winter collection concept, every detail exactly as I'd drawn it 6 months ago, right down to the asymmetrical hemlines and hand-stitched beading. Except it's not under my name. The credit reads, Designed by Megan Laurent. I'm Hannah, and until 30 seconds ago, I thought I understood how families worked, even dysfunctional ones like ours. Did you see the new collection feature? Megan's voice floats down the hallway of our shared design studio, sickeningly sweet. The buyers are already placing orders. My stomach churns as I hear her heels clicking closer. I slam the magazine shut, shoving it under a pile of fabric swatches. Congratulations, I manage, keeping my eyes fixed on my sketchbook. The designs are familiar, she laughs, perching herself on the edge of my desk. Well, great minds think alike, right? Her perfectly manicured fingers drum against the wood, though maybe if you'd actually pitched your concepts during the development meetings instead of keeping them hidden away in that little book of yours. I showed them to you, I say quietly. Over dinner. You said they weren't ready. Did I? She examines her nails, that same patronizing smile playing at her lips. Must have slipped my mind. You know how hectic things get during collection season. My phone buzzes. A text from Derek. Just saw the magazine. Call me. Anyway, Megan continues, Mother wants us both at the board meeting tomorrow, 9 sharp. Try to bring something fresh this time, okay? We can't keep recycling the same ideas. The irony burns in my throat like acid. I watch her saunter away, remembering all the times she's done this before, the coincidental similarities, the convenient memory lapses, the subtle ways she's undermined my contributions to the family business. I'd always pushed the suspicions aside, told myself I was being paranoid. Ava, I whisper into my phone once Megan's gone, I need you to come over. Bring your laptop and that bottle of wine we've been saving. What's wrong? I'm going to need help documenting everything, every sketch, every date, every conversation. My voice hardens as I pull out my own laptop. And then I'm going to need help planning something special for my dear sister. Hannah? Eva hesitates. Are you sure? She's still family. I look at the framed photo on my desk, our blended family's first Christmas together. Megan's arm around my shoulder, both of us smiling. It was genuine then, I think. Family doesn't steal from family, I say, opening my email, and family definitely doesn't get away with it. What are you going to do? I trace my finger over one of my original sketches, the ones Megan thought I'd never think to timestamp and digitally archive. I'm going to give her exactly what she wants, more designs, more concepts, a whole collection's worth of bait. And then, and then I'm going to watch her hang herself with it. I pause, surprised by the cold satisfaction in my voice. But first, I need to understand exactly how deep this goes, how long she's been playing this game. I'll be there in 20, Eva says. Don't do anything until I arrive. I hang up and pull out my portfolio, years of work spread before me, like evidence at a crime scene. Tomorrow I'll sit in that board meeting and smile and play the dutiful little sister. I'll watch Megan bask in her stolen glory, and I'll start laying the groundwork for something she'll never see coming. Because she's right about one thing. Great minds do think alike, and she's about to learn just how creative I can be when properly motivated. The boardroom feels like a cage this morning. I grip my tablet tighter as Mother drones on about quarterly projections, but my eyes keep drifting to Megan's presentation slides. My stolen designs, transformed into her triumph. And now, Megan will walk us through the new collection's marketing strategy. Megan rises, all confidence and practiced grace. Thank you, Mother. As you can see, Pre-orders have exceeded expectations. I catch Father's proud smile, the way he leans forward in his chair, the same way he used to lean in when I'd show him my sketches as a child. Before Megan became the golden child, before every family dinner turned into a strategy session where my voice disappeared. Hannah? Mother's sharp tone cuts through my thoughts. Do you have anything to add about the design process? I meet Megan's eyes across the table. Actually, yes. I've been working on some concepts for next season. I'd love to share them. We're already finalizing next season, Megan interrupts. But maybe for the following quarter. Let her speak, Father says, surprising everyone, including me. I connect my tablet to the projector, pulling up my latest designs. The room falls silent as I scroll through them. They're good, better than good, and everyone knows it. These are quite sophisticated, Mother says slowly. When did you develop these? Over the past few months. I pause, watching Megan's face. I've been keeping detailed records of my creative process, timestamps, development notes, everything. Megan's smile tightens. They seem a bit derivative of current trends. Do they? I thought they were rather original, like your winter collection. The tension crackles. Father clears his throat. Perhaps we should consider incorporating some of Hannah's designs into the spring line. That would mean completely restructuring our production schedule. Megan protests. The costs alone. I can handle the logistics, I say. Unless there's some reason you don't want me more involved in development, Mother raises an eyebrow at Megan's obvious discomfort. For a moment, I see doubt cross her face. But then Megan laughs, diffusing the tension with practiced ease. Of course not. I'm just protective of our brand identity. But you're right. We should explore new directions. She turns to Mother. Why don't I mentor Hannah? Help her understand the full scope of collection development? My hands clench under the table. I don't need. Excellent idea, Mother beams. You two working together. It's what I've always wanted. The meeting ends with Megan's victory somehow even more complete than before. As everyone files out, she catches my arm. Nice try, little sister. Her whisper is silk over steel. But next time you want to play power games, remember who taught you how to play. I wrench away, nearly colliding with Derek in the hallway. He steadies me, concern in his eyes. Hey, I was just coming to meet you for lunch. Everything okay? Perfect, I say, loud enough for Megan to hear. In fact, I'd love your professional opinion on something. Your photography would be perfect for a new independent project I'm considering. Megan pauses mid-stride. I pretend not to notice. Let's discuss it over lunch, Derek says, playing along without fully understanding why. I've got some industry contacts who might be interested too. Later, at our usual cafe, I tell Derek everything. The stolen designs, the timestamps, the way she's twisted my attempt at confrontation into another way to control me. You could go public, he suggests, with proof of the original designs, and tear apart the family business. Mother would never forgive me. I stir my untouched coffee. No, I need something more subtle, something that makes Megan reveal herself. What are you thinking? I pull out my sketchbook, showing him the designs I didn't share at the meeting. These are the bait, and you're going to help me set the trap. Hannah, he hesitates. Are you sure you want to go down this road? I think of Megan's smirk, of Mother's blind faith, of Father's divided loyalty. She didn't just steal my designs, Derek. She stole my voice, my place in my own family. I meet his gaze, and I'm going to take it all back. The financial reports spread across my desk tell a story that makes my blood run cold. 3 years of creative accounting, carefully hidden transfers, and project budgets that don't quite add up. I've spent 2 weeks piecing it together, staying late after everyone's gone home, And now I understand why Megan's been so desperate to keep me away from the business side. You shouldn't be in here, Chloe says from the doorway, making me jump. Megan's office is off limits. I'm doing research for our mentorship program. The lie comes easily now. Megan suggested I familiarize myself with our operational procedures. Chloe steps closer, her eyes narrowing. At midnight? Couldn't sleep. I keep my voice casual, minimizing the window on Megan's computer. How about you? Late night? Picking up some files for Megan. She pauses, studying my face. You know, she really does want to help you succeed. Maybe if you stopped fighting her so hard. Like you did? Something flickers in her expression. Pain, maybe? Or envy. We can't all be the star of the show, Hannah. Some of us have to know our place. And what place would that be? Silent partner? Loyal servant? I stand, gathering my notes. Or just another stepping stone? You don't understand anything. Her voice cracks slightly. What Megan sacrificed to get where she is. Sacrificed? I laugh. Is that what we're calling theft now? I should tell her you were in here. But you won't. I meet her gaze steadily, because deep down, you know something's wrong. You've seen it too. Before she can respond, my phone buzzes, a text from Ava. Emergency, studio break-in, come now. My heart stops. The backup files, the evidence I've been collecting, all stored in my private studio space. I have to go, I mutter, pushing past Chloe. The studio is a disaster zone. Drawers ransacked, designs scattered, computer screen cracked. Ava stands in the middle, looking shell-shocked. I came to drop off those market research files, she says. Found it like this. Hannah, your external drive. Gone. I already know without looking. Along with the backup documentation. Should we call the police? And tell them what? That someone stole proof of corporate fraud that I obtained by breaking into private files? I sink into my chair, mind racing. This wasn't a random break-in. Megan? Too obvious. She'd never risk getting her hands dirty. A horrible thought strikes me. Unless... My phone rings. Megan's number. Rough night? Her voice drips with false concern. I just heard about your studio. How awful. Good thing you keep backups of everything, right? Oh, wait. How did you... Next time you go digging through my files, remember, I learned from the best. Mother didn't build this empire by playing nice. She pauses. Speaking of Mother, I wonder what she'd think about those creative accounting theories you've been developing. You're embezzling from your own family. I'm protecting what's mine, what I earned. Her voice hardens. Back off, Hannah. Last warning. The line goes dead. Eva touches my shoulder. What are you going to do? I look around my destroyed studio, at years of work scattered like confetti, at the empty space where my evidence used to be, and suddenly I know exactly what I'm going to do. Call Derek, I tell Ava. Tell him to bring his camera. We're going to need documentation of all this. For what? I pull out my phone, scrolling to Mother's number. For the board meeting tomorrow. Megan wants to play hardball? Fine, but she forgot one thing. What's that? I learned from the best, too. I start typing a message to Mother, and I've got nothing left to lose. Eva watches me, worried. This is going to get ugly. It already is. I hit send on the message, a simple request for an emergency board meeting to discuss urgent concerns about financial irregularities. Let Megan think she's won. Let her believe she's scared me into submission, because while she's been watching my obvious moves, she's missed the quiet ones, the patterns I've documented, the witnesses I've cultivated, the trap I've been laying since the day I found my stolen designs in that magazine. Tomorrow, we'll see who really learned from the best. The emergency board meeting never happens. Instead, I find myself at Mother's house for an impromptu family dinner. The dining room feels like a courtroom, with mother at the head of the table and father conspicuously absent. Financial irregularities? Megan's voice carries across the roasted chicken and tension. That's quite an accusation, especially from someone who barely understands our business model. I cut into my untouched food. Funny, I understood enough to notice the discrepancies in the Asian expansion budget. Girls, Mother interrupts, perhaps we should. No, let's discuss this. Megan sets down her wine glass. Since Hannah's so concerned about our finances, maybe she'd like to explain the unauthorized access to confidential files, the late night office visits, or maybe you'd like to explain the offshore accounts. The silence that follows feels like glass about to shatter. Mother's fork scrapes against her plate. I've been patient, she says finally. I've watched you both circle each other like wolves, but this ends now. She pulls out a folder. The board received an interesting proposal this morning from Sterling Designs. My stomach drops. Sterling Designs, our biggest competitor. They're offering to buy us out, Mother continues. Very generous terms. And they specifically requested both of you in leadership positions. Separate divisions, of course. Megan laughs, but I catch the tremor in it. You can't be serious. I'm considering it. Mother's eyes are hard. Unless you two can prove you're capable of working together without destroying what I've built. What about Father's opinion? I ask. Your father recused himself from this decision. Something about conflict of interest. Mother's gaze pins me. He mentioned you've been asking him questions about our accounting practices. The betrayal stings more than I expected. I'd trusted Father to keep our conversations private. I have a counter proposal, I say, pulling out my phone. Check your email. Mother opens the message, her expression unchanging as she reads. Megan tries to peek at her screen. An independent fashion line? Mother raises an eyebrow. Under the family brand? With full creative control and separate management. I force myself to meet her eyes. I've already secured private funding. Impossible, Megan snaps. Our investors would never, not our usual investors. I turn to her. You're not the only one with connections, sister. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Mother sighs. You can't even sit through dinner without. Did you know about the studio break-in? I interrupt. About the threats, the stolen designs. Alleged stolen designs, Megan corrects smoothly. And if someone broke into your studio, surely you filed a police report. The trap springs shut around me. Of course I hadn't reported it, not with what I'd been investigating. 1 week, Mother announces. I'm giving you both 1 week to either figure out how to work together or I'm accepting Sterling's offer. She stands. And if I find proof that either of you has been undermining this company, you'll be out before you can pack your desk. Later, in the garden where we used to play as children, Megan corners me. Clever move, she says, but private funding? Really? Derek's family has interesting connections. Ah, yes, the boyfriend. She plucks a dead leaf from a rose bush. How is Derek? Still freelancing? Or did that magazine position work out? My blood freezes. The position he'd interviewed for last week, one I hadn't even known about. Stay away from him. Or what? You'll expose me? She smiles. With what evidence? Face it, Hannah. You're playing a game you can't win. Maybe. I step closer. But I can make sure you lose everything trying to stop me. Careful, sister. Her whisper carries the weight of a threat. Some games change you forever. I watch her walk away, heels clicking on the garden path. She's right. I'm changing. Every move, every counter move, strips away another layer of the person I used to be. The question is, how much of myself am I willing to lose to win? My phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. Interested in the real story behind Sterling's offer? Meet tonight. Come alone. I stare at the message, feeling the crossroads beneath my feet. Forward means no turning back, but backward, there is no backward anymore. The warehouse space smells like fresh paint and ambition. Derek moves around the converted studio, capturing angles of my first independent collection while I adjust a hemline. Everything has to be perfect for tomorrow's soft launch. These are incredible, he says, reviewing the shots. Especially this one, it's going to break the internet. I straighten, studying the design he's photographing. A dress that takes everything Megan thinks she knows about fashion and turns it inside out. That's the point. My phone buzzes. Chloe's name appears on the screen, surprising me. We haven't spoken since the studio break-in. The Sterling deal isn't what you think, she says without preamble. Megan orchestrated it. The scissors in my hand freeze mid-cut. What? She's been meeting with them for months, planning this whole thing. Chloe's voice shakes. She wanted Mother to think selling was the only option, to force her hand. Why are you telling me this? A pause. Because she's doing to you what she did to me, making promises, dangling opportunities. Then she stops. Just check your boyfriend's new contract. The fine print. The call ends. Derek lowers his camera, watching me. Everything okay? Show me your Sterling magazine contract. His hesitation tells me everything. Hannah, I was going to tell you. Show me. He pulls up the document on his tablet. There, buried in Clause 4.3, exclusive rights to all photography related to Laurent Designs and its subsidiaries, including my independent line. You knew. My voice sounds distant, even to myself. You knew they were connected to Sterling. They offered triple my usual rate. He reaches for me. I thought maybe it could help both of us, give you leverage with your family. By helping Megan document every step of my launch, the betrayal tastes like metal. How long have you been feeding her information? It's not like that. I was trying to protect you. Get out. Hannah, please. Get out. The echo of the slammed door feels final. I sink onto a workbench, surrounded by my designs, my rebellion, my statement, my trap. Only now I'm not sure who's trapped. My phone lights up again. Unknown number. Smart girl, finally figuring it out. Want to know what else your sister's been planning? Back entrance, 10 minutes. I shouldn't go. But I'm already moving, anger carrying me down the service stairs to the alley behind the warehouse. A figure emerges from the shadows. Megan's assistant, Thomas. Why? I demand. Because someone needs to stop her. He hands me a USB drive. Everything's here. The real numbers, the offshore accounts, the Sterling setup. She's been siphoning money for years, building her escape route. And you're just now growing a conscience? I'm dying, he says it simply. Cancer, 6 months, maybe less, and I'm tired of watching her destroy people. A car turns into the alley, headlights sweeping across us. Thomas steps back. Be careful, he warns. She's desperate now, and desperate people. The rest is lost in the screech of tires. The car accelerates, aiming straight at us. I dive one way, Thomas the other. Metal crunches against brick where we were standing. By the time I scramble up, the car is gone. Thomas lies motionless, blood pooling beneath him. The USB drive glints in the streetlight, crushed to pieces. My hands shake as I call 911, but my voice is steady, because now I understand. This isn't about designs or credit or even the company anymore. This is about survival. Back in the studio, I pull up my laptop and start typing. Dear Mother, I accept the Sterling position with one condition. The plan forms as I write, each word a strand in a web I'm weaving. Megan wants to play with lives? Fine. Let's see how she handles having everything she wants handed to her on a poisoned plate. My phone buzzes one last time. Eva. Just heard about Derek. Are you okay? I look around the studio, at the collection that was supposed to be my triumph. Every piece now feels like a weapon, loaded with a different kind of ammunition than I'd planned. No, I text back, but I will be. Tomorrow, the soft launch becomes something else entirely. Tomorrow, I stop playing defense. Tomorrow, Megan learns what real desperation feels like. The launch party crackles with tension beneath the champagne and camera flashes. My collection dominates the warehouse space, each piece a silent accusation. I watch Megan work the room, her smile never reaching her eyes as she studies my designs. Quite the turnout, she says, sidling up to me. Though I noticed Sterling's representatives couldn't make it. Last minute cancellation. I sip my champagne. Shame about Thomas, by the way. Hit and run. How tragic. Her glass pauses halfway to her lips. These things happen in the city. Do they? Like mysterious studio break-ins and convenient contract clauses? Careful, sister. Her whisper barely disturbs the air. You're playing with fire. No, I say, watching father enter with a group of board members. I'm playing with gasoline. I move toward the center of the room, tapping my glass for attention. The crowd quiets, all eyes turning to me, including mothers who's just arrived. Thank you all for coming, I begin. This collection represents more than just fashion. It's about truth, about bringing hidden things to light. Megan's smile freezes as I gesture to the main display. Each piece tells a story about creativity, about family. I pause. About fraud. The projector behind me flickers to life, displaying financial records, account numbers, transfer dates, Megan's signature on documents she thought were destroyed. What is this? Mother's voice cuts through the murmurs. Ask your golden child about the offshore accounts, about Sterling's real offer, about Thomas. Chaos erupts, phones start recording, board members cluster together, whispering. Father moves toward Megan, his face ashen. Then everything goes black. The power cut plunges the warehouse into darkness, screams, breaking glass. When emergency lights sputter on 30 seconds later, smoke fills the air. Fire, someone shouts. The collection's on fire. I run toward my designs, but security holds me back. Flames leap from dress to dress, consuming months of work in seconds. Through the smoke, I glimpse Chloe by the emergency exit, lighter in hand, Megan nowhere in sight. The sprinklers activate too late. By the time firefighters arrive, everything's ruined. The collection, the evidence, my revenge. Hours later, I sit in Mother's office, soaked and smelling of smoke. The news plays silently on her TV. Fashion launch disaster. Arson suspected. Megan's gone, Mother says flatly, along with $2 million from the company accounts. Your father's reviewing the damage now. I can explain? Can you? Can you explain why my daughters are trying to destroy each other? Why one's a thief and the other's becoming just like her? I was trying to expose the truth. The truth? She laughs bitterly. The truth is I failed, with both of you. She slides a document across her desk. The board met emergency session. They're suspending all operations pending investigation. My hands shake as I read. They can't do this. They can and did. Your stunt tonight violated multiple confidentiality agreements. We're legally vulnerable, our reputation's in tatters, and our family. She stops, composing herself. Get out. Mother, I said get out. You're suspended, effective immediately. Both of you. Outside, rain has replaced the smoke. My phone shows missed calls from Ava, news outlets, police, but it's the text from an unknown number that stops me cold. Should have kept quiet, sister. Now everyone burns. Check your apartment. I race home, heart pounding. The door's unlocked. Inside, every surface is covered with shredded designs. My entire portfolio destroyed. On my bedroom mirror, written in lipstick, "My turn." I sink to the floor, surrounded by the confetti of my career, my family, my life. Somewhere in the city, Megan's running with our family's money. The evidence I'd gathered is ash. My reputation's destroyed, and I'm starting to realize that in trying to expose a monster, I've become one. My phone buzzes. "Eva, you okay? News is crazy. Need help?" I stare at the message, remembering Thomas's last warning about desperate people, about how far they'll go. But he was wrong about one thing. Desperate people don't just destroy others, they destroy themselves. And I'm just getting started. The hotel suite door opens before I can knock. Chloe stands there, mascara streaked down her face. "She's been expecting you." 3 days of tracking burner phones and following money trails led me here. Megan sits at the suite's desk, calm as ever, our mother's old ledger open before her. "You know what's funny?" She doesn't look up. "Mother always said we were too much alike. I never saw it until now." "Where's the money, Megan?" "Already moved, untraceable." She finally meets my eyes. "Like the evidence you thought you had?" "Thomas made copies. Thomas is dead." But I'm not. I step closer, and I remember everything, every transaction, every shell company, every fake invoice. She laughs, but there's a tremor in it. "Your word against mine, and we both know who Mother believes." "Believed," I correct her. Past tense. The board's reviewing everything as we speak. "With what proof?" "The proof Father's been gathering since you started embezzling." The shock on her face is almost worth everything. "Did you really think he didn't notice? He was just waiting to see how far you'd go." Chloe moves between us. "Tell her the rest, Megan. About Derek. About Sterling." "Shut up," Megan snaps. "About Thomas's accident?" Megan's hand shoots out, but I catch her wrist before she can slap Chloe. Touch her, and I send the signal. Every news outlet in the city gets the full story. "You're bluffing." My phone screen lights up with Ava's message. "News vans in position. Ready?" "Try me." Megan sinks into her chair, something breaking behind her eyes. "You want to know the truth? Fine. I did it all. The designs, the money, Thomas, everything, because it was mine. All of it was supposed to be mine. It was our family's business. No." She slams her hand down. "It was my birthright. I was there from the beginning, watching Mother build it while you played with your sketches. I earned this. By stealing, by killing, by surviving." Her composure cracks completely. "You think you know about sacrifice? I gave everything to this company. My relationships, my dreams, even my conscience. And then you waltz in with your talent and your vision, and suddenly I'm just the administrator, the obstacle. I never wanted to take my place. Too late. You already have." She pulls out her phone. "So congratulations, sister. You win. But remember, you're not just taking the company. You're taking everything that comes with it." She presses send. My phone explodes with notifications. "What did you do?" Her smile is pure venom. "Released proof of your own creative fraud. Those designs you claimed I stole? There's now evidence you stole them from young designers in our development program. Dated, documented evidence." My stomach drops. "No one will believe, everyone will believe it, because you've spent months proving how far you'll go for revenge, how ruthless you can be." She stands. "Sound familiar?" Chloe steps forward. I have to tell them the truth." "With what proof?" Megan's voice is silk. "Your signature's on half those documents, remember? Try exposing me, and you'll go down too." The room spins. She's right. I've become the perfect villain in my own story. Every move I made to expose her has only made me more suspect. But then I see it. the slight tremor in her hand as she reaches for the ledger, the way her eyes keep darting to her laptop. You made one mistake, I say quietly. Oh? I move to the laptop, opening it. You forgot who taught me about backdoors and hidden accounts. My fingers fly over the keys. Father didn't just teach me about design. Her face pales as the screen fills with data. That's encrypted. Was encrypted. Now it's being broadcast to every board member, along with your real confession. I turn the laptop, showing her the active recording. The one you just gave. The silence is deafening. Outside, sirens approach. You really are just like me? She whispers. I close the laptop. No, I'm worse, because I learned from your mistakes. As security bursts in, I watch my sister's empire crumble. But the victory tastes like ash, because I finally understand. In destroying her, I've destroyed part of myself, too. And some things, once broken, can never be fixed. The boardroom feels different now, smaller somehow. I adjust the presentation slides one last time, watching the empty chairs fill with familiar faces. No Megan today. She's preparing for her court appearance. No Derek either. Just mother, father, and the board members who survived the scandal. The restructuring plan is sound, I conclude 30 minutes later. We can rebuild our reputation, but only with complete transparency. Mother's face remains unreadable. The others nod, murmuring approval. Only father looks troubled. And the creative direction, he asks, will be collaborative. I gesture to the young designers waiting outside. No more single vision, no more secrets. The vote is unanimous. As people file out, Mother lingers, fingering the edge of her tablet. Megan called, she says quietly. From her lawyer's office. My hand still over the laptop. And she wanted me to give you this. She slides an envelope across the table. Said you'd understand. Inside is a single sketch. My first design. The one I showed Megan years ago when we were still just sisters, before ambition and betrayal poisoned everything. But it's different now, altered with her distinctive style, a fusion of both our visions. She's pleading guilty, Mother continues. Full confession, says she'll return what's left of the money. It's not about the money anymore. No, Mother agrees. It never was. She touches my hand. I enabled her, you know. Made her believe she had to be perfect, had to control everything. And in doing so, I failed you both. We all failed each other. The silence stretches between us, heavy with regret and possibility. I'm stepping down, she says finally. The company needs new blood, a different perspective. Mother, but not you. She holds up her hand as I start to protest. Not yet. You need time away from all this, to remember who you were before revenge became your design inspiration. She's right. Every sketch since this started has been tainted with bitterness, each creation a weapon rather than an expression. The board approved a sabbatical, she continues. 6 months, fully funded, to study, travel, create, find your voice again. And the company? Will be run by committee until you're ready. If you're ready. I look around the boardroom, seeing ghosts of conversations, confrontations, betrayals. Then I look at my mother, really look at her, and see something I've missed. Hope. There's something else you should know, she says, about Thomas's accident. The police found new evidence. My breath catches. What evidence? Security footage, from a different angle. She meets my eyes. It wasn't Megan driving that car. The implication hits like ice water. All this time, we'd been playing each other's games, never seeing the bigger board. Who? Does it matter? There's always someone willing to profit from family warfare. She stands. The question is, when does it end? I touched the sketch again, tracing our combined design. You knew, didn't you? About everything. You were watching us tear each other apart. Sometimes the only way to end a war is to let both sides lose. She moves to the door. The sabbatical offer stands. Think about it. Later, in my studio, I pin Megan's sketch to my wall. Next to it, I place a blank canvas. My phone buzzes with messages. Eva offering support. Chloe seeking forgiveness. Father wanting to talk. But it's the last message that stops me. An email from Megan's prison account containing only a quote. The opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. I start sketching, letting my hand move freely for the first time in months. The design flows without anger or agenda, just pure creation. When it's done, I step back, seeing something new emerge, a piece that honors our shared heritage while breaking free from its shadows. Tomorrow, I'll book my travel. Tonight, I design, not for revenge or redemption, but for the simple joy of creation. And maybe, just maybe, that's the real victory. The war is over, the scars remain, but in the space between love and hate, something new can grow, if we let it.